like, how is this is a I'm curious if this is his opinion or so about the Gacha game, Destiny Rising. Cause I tried it out. I tried it out for like one day. I gave it like about 4-ish hours. I still play like a little bit offline and everything like that. But like not extensively. Like I try to do at least like one mission at a time or so, which I kind of personally hate. Personally, I just rather I just rather play it for a long period of time, but I got things to do, unfortunately. So
the most common question I have been asked over the past 4 or 5 days is Destiny Rising better than Destiny 2? And this is actually branched off into a number of other discussions, from which game should you play more, which game am I going to play more, which one is going to become my main Destiny. There's even some other questions like, is this Destiny 3? I really want to pump the brakes on some of these, by the way, because first and foremost, Destiny Rising is a mobile game.
Do you guys not have phones?
Yeah, you guys all have phones, right?
Yes, we're playing on PC. It's through an emulator, but it is a mobile game. And not just a mobile game, a gacha game. Meaning its monetization, its design, from its limiting of your levels, your pinnacle cap per day, the constant dopamine release as you claim literally all of these currencies. And let me just say, there's so many currencies, you can't even hardly keep up with any of it. But despite those things that may be frustrating, yes, I don't like gacha monetization. I never have, because it's the one game type that has found a way to extract so much money from me. I had my time in Genshin, but as you...
That just sounds like a skill issue. That's all I gotta say. That just sounds like someone can't keep hold of their wallet because they have a lot of money, in their back pocket to burn. As someone who literally doesn't have that much money and doesn't go into debt or doesn't decide to spend over, hundreds of dollars, I'm responsible with my own money. That's the difference, Hey, Kaki.
No, we had to move on. Games like that are just too dangerous. Now, whether or not
it's only dangerous for you if you cannot control yourself. If you can control yourself, you'll be fine. But if you have gambling addiction, spending habits that you will spend no matter what or so to get that new high dopamine or so, you should probably avoid gacha games at all costs, in my personal opinion.
Monetization is better or worse inside of Destiny Rising in comparison to other gacha games. I still want to preface this by saying that it is still a gacha game. There's banners, there's limited banners, and yes, FOMO is going to be very much a real thing for this game. And since it's going to be operating on 6-month cycles, that's a long time to wait if you miss out on Goth Mommy. And let me just say, some of the comments from you guys about this character, my lord fellas, we need to calm down. I saw one the other day, it was like, I wish she was real. I don't mean real in a game, I mean real in real life. I need her. And the other reason why
yeah, but you want to know something at the same time? So I've seen her gameplay and everything like that, right? She's pretty good for a limited 5-star, for the first limited 5-star. But you want to know something? When it comes to gacha games in general, the first, the first 3 or 4 characters that come out in gacha games are not, they're good. But the later on characters in the future is what actually is better, and they're gonna outperform. Well, depending. I don't know how this game is going to be, right? This is just like my estimated guess by the amount of gacha games that I've played on release date and then afterwards or so, right? They usually get power crept or get outbeaten by another character that just does better than them. The problem is with this character specifically, her ultimate is like, you're kind of like a sitting duck or so if you don't ult correctly with her. That's the only problem with her, is like you move very slowly or so when you ult with her. That's like one of the big problems with her, at least. Like granted, I haven't played her that much, right? I only played her in the tutorial thing, but that's like one of the things that I did not like about her specifically. And that's like kind of like it. But like overall, she's not like a bad 5-star. It's like, I guess you can say she's like the early prototype 5-star until they start making more, I guess you can say more movement type 5-stars, which will be very interesting to see what happens or what they're gonna experiment in the future, when it comes to like the 5-stars coming later down the line,
bring this up is because that type of emotion is what results in your credit card finding its way into this game. And swipe, swipe, there you go. Love at last. I'm gonna throw it out there though right now. She's a bit overrated. Just my thoughts, just saying. Yoda, in my opinion, is way better. With that being said though, despite how I feel about Gacha, I have to acknowledge just the scope of this game, just how large this mobile game actually is. And not just how large it is, but also acknowledging where it is absolutely slapping the piss out of Bungie. This mobile game has more MMO features than Destiny 2. Now, let me just say, when it comes to Destiny 2, I still prefer its raid designs, its sandbox, the customization for your Guardian. But keep in mind, we're dealing with a Destiny that's been made now for the past 10 years, with many evolutions year after year. This is week 1 of Destiny Rising, and I hope you know I don't want to glaze this game one bit, because in my soul, with it being Gacha,
to be honest, the amount of stuff it gives you for the first week of its launch day or so is crazy compared to a 10-year, 10-year long Destiny game. I'd be curious to see in 10 years from now, what's the content going to be on Destiny Rising? That's what I'm curious about. I've stopped playing Destiny, but since I have stopped playing, I lost a lot of the lore. Well, you can always start on this one, to be honest.
Want to hate it. But today I'm going to jump over all the activities that are inside of Destiny Rising that blow my mind. And the question I have to ask, Bungie, where is this in Destiny 2? Like, seriously, why don't we have these features? And maybe not all of them, but as you're listening to some of these,
because the reason why, right? I don't think it's the same dev team as before. There could be some members still, right? But then, like, the other thing is, like, they literally said that they're coding. If they try to add something, they're gonna break something, which is a normal standard thing when it comes to video games, right? When you literally update a game itself, right? Things do tend to break. That's just how it is. Other things break when you add something or update something or anything like that. That's just how it is in general, right? But the problem is with I assume, like, new members, because, like, understand, right? There's always new people applying to the companies for video games and stuff like that, but they don't have that much experience, right? Because I always go back to the video of that one developer who said that, like, this one person who wanted to do, like, an AI pathfinding kind of type of thing for enemies and stuff like that would take him at least more than, like, 2 weeks to do. But the guy himself, which he's an expert, right? He's been in the field for a lot longer. He can do it, by the afternoon of the same day. So there's a difference between, like, how experienced one person is and one person not very experienced whatsoever, That is one of the things here. That's the reason why they're not adding some of these things into Destiny 2, because number one, they'll probably break the game or so. And apparently the coding is not super great, but it's not super terrible. It's not like Yandere Simulator terrible, It's just kind of like, it's a little bit like, if we add something, it's gonna break something that's pretty bad, No, I have not. We just barely started. What are you talking about? Something like 26 minutes
you would feel
of the stream.
Playing this, but inside of Destiny.
You were here,
2.
Winter.
First and foremost, Destiny Rising has a story. It has a campaign. It's all right. I wouldn't say it's anything just like groundbreaking, but good, especially for a mobile game. It's even got something called Haven Ops, which are 3-player strikes, similar to that of Destiny 2. And a feature that I really like in every activity that you're going to see is that there's an MVP feature.
No, I think this, like, you probably, to be honest, you'll get more bang for your buck in Destiny 2 compared to Earthbound at the end of the day, or Heartbound. Same thing with this mobile gacha game too. It's just more better. This is more better than Heartbound, so it's actually complete.
Literally at the end of the activity, it says, hey, yeah, you did the best. And everybody on the team has to acknowledge you. And I really like that. Haven Ops is going to continue to scale as we get into in-game. And yes, it's even going to have leaderboards. But this little MVP feature at the end of every one of these activities is incredible. It gives you this entire breakdown of your damage versus combatants.
That's pretty good.
Or damage versus bosses. It also shows how much you heal and how much damage you've taken. And somehow, some way, this all equates to who it is that becomes MVP. Regardless, though, it's a way to flex mechanics, and it's also a way to just measure yourself against your peers. And I think this is really important. I've seen games really lean away from this with crazy reasoning like, hey, we don't want you to feel like you didn't contribute by not being MVP. The hell?
I hate that personally. I actually personally hate that they got rid of it because they don't want people to get their feelings hurt because of this day and age, right? But you know, it's the best way to find out who is the weakest, right? Who's the weakest on the team, and then you can actually help them. You can either shit on them for funsies, right? Or, right, if it's your team and everything like that, right? It's your own friends and everything, you can shit on them and everything. But also the best way to find out how much damage you're doing specifically. What's your DPS? What's your healing? What's your this? How much damage did you do to the boss and all this other stuff, right? It's the best way for you to learn to optimize yourself the next time you're going to do the raid again. So you know for a fact that'd be like, okay, this build is not working. I need to try something different, or I need to get myself a new piece of gear or a new piece of weapon or a new piece of this, you know? There's multiple ways of why this feature of having like kind of like a damage leaderboard on your team or so to find out how much you do or so. It's always the best. I hate this like new day and age where, like, you know, especially like in Battlefield, you know, it's not happening now, right? But before, right, they took away the leaderboard or so because they don't want you, you know, they didn't want you to feel like, you know, you're not contributing to the team, you know, people shitting on you because, you know, you don't have a lot of kills or anything like that. That's just how it is. It's just better that way, you know? You find out who's the weakest, you know? You do have some people that will pick on you, but you know, it's not really a big deal. It's a video game at the end of the day. But then you have all those other people who will try to help out other individuals that will make it better. Or you can try to make yourself even better, you know? Yeah. I would say Destiny Rising feels like classic Destiny, which I've been wanting for years. Yeah, it really does. Like, if you want Destiny like 1 Rise, if you want Destiny 1 like classic Destiny or so, play Destiny Rising. It really does feel like it really does feel like Destiny 1, which is like that was like one of my favorites. Like Destiny 1 was my favorite. I enjoyed Destiny 1. I spent so many hours in Destiny 1. Granted, I didn't do any raids or so because I didn't have any friends to do raids. So I had to grind a lot longer and manually to get up higher light levels. And that's pretty much it. So I think the only raid that I did was Crota's End. And that's pretty much it. I've never done... Oh, wait, I did Oryx. Yeah, I did Oryx. I did 1 raid for Oryx, and that was pretty much about it, so, yeah.
It's a video game, for crying out loud. I'm not looking for participation medals. I'm looking to flex. I want to say, hey, Les,
those are the only ones I did.
Substantially better. And don't take it from me. Right here on this readout says Scroll69 is MVP.
MVP again.
You're rocking a broken.
No, they added in D2. I didn't know about that.
Look, it's a small, subtle thing, guys, but I think it goes a long way.
Yeah, of course.
The next activity that absolutely blows my mind is a roguelike mode called Realm of the Nine. This is literally in the Nine's realm right here with Xur, and it's such a fun activity. You've got around 10 stages with RNG upgrades in between each round. And this is like the coil.
Oh, that's cool,
ways,
actually.
but even crazier because all of these upgrades get insane. If you stack these right upgrades correctly with one another, this will scale your damage substantially. And as you get into the higher levels of Realm of the Nine, you're going to need to scale these upgrades because it becomes incredibly challenging. Now, there's actually 3 variants of Realm of the Nine. There's Singularity Order, which is your standard difficulty with 10 stages to complete. There's also 6 different levels you can go through. You've got Singularity Chaos, which lets you pick between 2 abilities, which are really powerful, but they come with a drawback. And you can choose between normal or heroic difficulty. You'll have to complete a 3-wave encounter, and then you can loot the chests. The point is, guys, is that this is a major PvE draw. The ability to not just go in there with your favorite character, but to also have all of these upgrades in between rounds that can make every run feel fresh.
Okay.
It is the activity if you're a solo player. But then on the other side of the spectrum, we have Gauntlet Ops. This is 6-player activities, and they're simple mechanics, but think of these as like pre-raid activities. And some of these actually have mechanics that are tied to the raid. So it's a way for you and a bunch of other random people, because yes, everything in this game has matchmaking. You could just team up and get a glimpse of the mechanics you may see in a raid. Now, let me just say, 6-player activities is something that Bungie has done.
So kind of like they have a thing or so for you to prepare for a raid. So when the raid comes, you understand exactly, you know, you already got the tools that they've already given you for you to understand how the raid kind of basically works, but not everything though. Oh, that's actually pretty cool. I actually like that, actually. That's actually pretty neato.
past, but they've really pulled back on it. I'd argue and say the most popular 6-player activity that Bungie's ever given us is Menagerie. And yes, it was fantastic. It had a lot of depth.
Menagerie?
It had the ability to choose your loot at the end. The activities were fun and
Oh, I think
challenging.
I
But Bungie's been
remember
really
seeing that
pulling back on
actually.
6-player activities and leaning more toward 3-player activities. To me, though, it's just such a big brain move to have something like Gauntlet Ops with open matchmaking to just kind of give players a taste of what they'll eventually encounter in an actual raid. Now, this brings
That's cool.
us to Gauntlet Onslaughts. These are the raid encounters. And yes, they are broken up by encounters. You can literally just load into any of the encounters you want. Now, under-leveled, they are very challenging. We actually had quite the time playing this day one. However, when we got a good squad with us, we completely wrecked this thing. Now, the contest version of this will be coming out at some point, but they actually rolled the normal version of the raid out first, rather than contest first, which is an interesting strategy. But to be quite honest with you, most people were probably not leveled up enough or even had the characters to even take on Gauntlet Onslaughts because all of us were under-leveled. Now, from a raid perspective, though, I would say that the design here is fairly simple. The mechanics are very straightforward.
Yeah.
It's a good icebreaker raid, and I don't know what other future raids they may be bringing to us, but I think this first one they gave us is fantastic for what it's supposed to be. Literally, the first encounter is like the bridge encounter for Crota's Inn, where 2 players get keys, and the rest of the players create the bridge that allows them to cross.
Oh,
the second
okay.
encounter is literally an encounter from Gauntlet Ops, where you have to make the code on the screen, combine that together to unlock the same device that gives you immunity when walking through this lightning. And then the final encounter is just really a damage check from the boss itself, where you have to two-face it. I would say that no, this raid is by no means on the level of like Desert Perpetual, Salvation's Edge, or pretty much any of the raids inside of Destiny.
Oh,
But for
okay.
a mobile game to have these type of raid encounters, and considering it's their first raid, I think it's such a good icebreaker raid for
Yeah.
anyone trying to dive into raids.
You
for
can shoot
first
through the
time.
bubble.
Now this takes us to Morgan's Prey and Legacy. This is a
Too overpowered because people would start complaining that you can't shoot them back. That's why.
player material farm activity that allows you to choose the types of rewards based on a few options. So for Morgan's Prey, I had enhancement prisms or glimmer. Now it has somewhat of a roguelike system in itself, as each round you can pick different enemy modifiers, which ups the difficulty. And get this, the legacy version lets you focus for relic enhancement materials. Now this mode is like Gambit, but only PvE. Not necessarily the most engaging activity, but what I really like about this is that this activity is like, hey, you need to farm materials? Then this is the activity for you. Now speaking of Gambit, this takes us to Shifting Gates. Somehow,
Dude,
some way,
shifting gates is so much fun. I actually played a couple of games of Shifting Gate, which is, you know, I uploaded the video for it. It's so fun. I actually enjoy this actually. We actually made it to #1, so, you know, in one of the times that we were playing, so.
Destiny Rising has created not just a Gambit mode, but a substantially better Gambit mode than anything we have ever gotten inside of Destiny.
I've never
2.
played
Instead
Gambit,
of two
so.
teams of 3 facing off on the same static maps, Shifting Gate says, hey, how about we just give you a huge map next to another map, next to another map, all connected through these Vex doors with teleporters that can launch you around. And instead of 2 teams of 3, we'll kick it up a notch. 6 teams of 3. Guys, I cannot express just how fun this actually is. This isn't just Gambit 2.0. It's Gambit completely reimagined. Yes, you run in there, you kill ads, you dunk moats, but then there's like these cards that you can load out, which can allow enemies that you kill to drop even more moats. There's even these other cards that give you enhancements. You'll have these bosses that spawn up on the map, which will ping all the teams up. And so there's like this moment of chaos and consolidation where you and all these teams are trying to kill these bosses while also trying to kill each other. It's madness, but at the same time, so much fun. This is the version of Gambit that we need inside of Destiny. And we know that Gambit is getting some sort of rework coming Renegades. But let me just say, guys, if it's not a rework on this level, if Bungie just comes out and says, hey, here's a map, or here's some tiered loot associated with the same game mode you've been playing since Forsaken, fellas, it's not gonna hit.
Yeah, they have dual
This
wielding.
Shifting Gate mode is arguably the best game mode inside of Destiny Rising. They have went a completely different direction.
They
here.
also have a character that can do grenade launchers too as well on top of that. So like an actual, not like the round barrel drum one. It's like a big heavy like a chain gun type of way or so. That's what they have in the game.
With
One of the
Gambits,
characters do.
and hot damn, is it popped off for them. Now, if you're just wanting to play PvP, yes, there is a PvP mode called Iron Bar. It's only present over the weekend. But let me just say, guys, I'm not a big fan of PvP inside of Destiny Rising. It's chaotic. It's mayhem. Where Shifting Gates is also chaotic, it's strategic because you've got the PvE element alongside it. Iron Bar is literally just, hey, what hero can I use that can spam their abilities the most? And that's essentially it. Gunplay is there, but it's very much just an ability spam inside of Iron Bar. Now, this brings us into the MMO features that really set Destiny Rising apart from Destiny 2. And let's start with dueling. And no, I'm not talking about actually
they have a card game in here. Yes, they have a card game.
I'm talking about card dueling. Jermaine, aka Drifter, will introduce you to Gwent, or in this case, Destiny's version of Gwent. You see, as you're doing all the different activities inside of Destiny Rising, there are chances that cards can drop for you. Most notably, the raid yesterday, Gauntlet Onslaught, dropped me this exotic card. And then you can take that card and add it to your deck. And then you can take that deck and challenge NPCs around the tower. But get this, there's an entire matchmaking mode where you can play other players, taking your deck that you've earned and facing off against theirs. And to top it all off, you can even get mythic drops from this activity. Now, I'm not sure if you can get exotics. And again, the way the tiers work in this game.
Oh, that's pretty cool, actually, to be honest. Wow, that's actually... You get mythic drops from it, too.
You got your legendary weapons, and then above them you have your mythic weapons, which are like legendaries but with like better tiered perks. And then above that is your exotics. Mythic weapons though are very good, and in some
the reason why, because I said it before, the devs don't know how to do it, and if they try to implement it, they're probably going to break something in the game. So
cases
that's the reason why
even be better than certain exotics. But the point is,
like, I'm not saying that like they're idiots or anything like that, right? It's just people who are like, just like, maybe there's a lot of new fresh blood devs or so, right? A lot of newbies, right? A lot of young, you know, developers in the company itself. They probably don't know. They probably don't know how to add it, you know, into the game itself. That's the problem, you know?
that you can get this from playing this card game. And fellas, the card game is good. That's what blows my mind with this. It's actually a good card game.
Really?
I find myself playing match after match of it. And it's a little like RPG features like this, with the music playing in the background, the kind of chill strategic elements of it. It's just something else to do alongside all the different activities we could do. Speaking of other activities, fishing. Yes, you can fish in this game. And let me just say, you can get a lot of items from fishing. There's actually an entire reward track tied to fishing. And the fish have rarities. You can get crazy tier 4 and tier 5 fish, which can net you a ton of resources. What I really like about the fishing here is that while you're chilling in Haven, this being the social area, and you're just doing your own thing, if someone catches a high tier fish, it literally will say right there, so-and-so caught whatever fish. Look, it's an MMO thing. I mean, am I gonna call out Bob Cross 69 and say, wow, what an incredible fish you just got? Maybe, maybe not, but I guess it depends on the fish. The point is that there's an entire reward track and tier system when it comes to your fishing rods, your baits, and what you can catch. This is yet another MMO element. But this brings us to a feature that we knew was gonna be in this game, and I don't really know how much people are gonna play it, but Sparrow Racing is in Destiny Rising. Now, if you remember way back in Destiny 1, we had something called Sparrow Racing League.
Oh man, dude, back in Destiny 1, man, dude, I remember back in Destiny when I played this shit so much, to be honest.
Everybody had a pretty good time. They got the rewards. Sparrow Racing in Destiny Rising is a limited time event, but it's got a really cool track. You've got boosts, you've got shoots that you can go through. You can net yourself great rewards from this as well. I think what hurts about Sparrow Racing is that we've had this before, and it's been something that's been requested multiple times over the years that just seems to never happen. But yeah, it exists here in Destiny Rising, which brings us to the feature that I love the most, the Wolf Den. This is a feature I've been asking for inside of Destiny 2 since 2014. Actual clan housing. I get so many people in the stream too that will say things like, what is the point of this? Why would I ever need a house for my clan? And all I can say is, guys, you must have never played a true MMORPG. Most big MMOs have some sort of clan housing feature. And Destiny Rising has taken their clan housing feature and went beyond what I thought they were originally going to do. You see, originally I thought they were going to give us this area, this plot of land. We had this hangar. You could upgrade it. And that was essentially it. But it goes way beyond that. So you have your own clan currency that you can acquire within the activities of the clan itself. And that currency can be used to unlock different
I think they have something like that.
You can even use it to buy materials. And what I really love about this entire tile set that you see in front of you is that it's so interactive. For instance, there's these bosses in this area that you can go challenge either by yourself, or you can hit this button that will assemble your pack. And you guys can go do damage to this boss. And upon beating this boss, boss and doing the full 100% damage, you'll further upgrade and unlock this tile set even further.
That's cool.
I've heard time and time again
That's
that clan
actually pretty
features
cool.
don't have a major return on investment. And I just gotta ask, who the hell is quantifying this? Social features keeps players engaged, and it keeps them social. It keeps them working together. That engagement
Plus also like plus if there's a lot of like online interaction or engagement online, if there's a lot of people logging in or so and playing the game consistently for a long time for doing this shit, it's gonna look good on investors. And that means more money for the game. That means more shit in the game to do. And there's just gonna be a lot more things to do, you know?
is good, especially in a world where Bungie's really trying to drive engagement inside of Destiny 2. Farming Caldera, in my opinion, is a poor form of engagement farming, but features like Wolf Den, clan housing, the ability to upgrade the space even further. Imagine if we had a—
Never say never. Because so far the stuff that they've added so far with Destiny Rising, you know, it's been pretty good so far compared to Destiny 2. And it's also the best comparison to compare to Destiny 2, which is a full-fledged game that came out 10 years ago, and this game just came out 1 week ago. And look at all the content that you get so far, at least, you know?
System like this inside of Destiny 2, where maybe we unlock an entire tower that us and our clan could build, customize, and even farm materials around Destiny to further improve. These are the things, in my opinion, that truly
Co-clan
drive
win.
engagement.
I wouldn't mind playing with you guys, you know, but I've been playing it offline or so, but like I just been doing one mission at a time or so. I don't know when you unlock the clan thing, of course. I have no idea, so I don't know what level you need to be for it.
Engagement. And not just engagement, but it also allows people to create a connection here, which, as you know, my time in RuneScape was really important. I would have quit RuneScape way before Evolution of Combat, but it was my clan that kept me around. And that was because we had something called the Citadel in RuneScape, and dude, we were farming that thing like mad because we wanted to have the sexiest Citadel in the game. Destiny 2 players that have only played Destiny 2. You may think that this is a feature that shouldn't be in the game, but I can promise you, it is a feature you would love. And I've
played MMOs, to be honest. I've never been in clans or anything like that, but I always thought this stuff is really pretty cool, personally.
Desperately needed. Now, a couple of other features inside of Destiny Rising that really surprised me, that kind of aid in this. There's like this bonfire where you and your teammates can go chill out and relax. Some of you are like, Cross, it's a video game, it's not a real fire. Whatever, bro. It's real enough for me. Another feature that's really cool that ties into your Wolf Den and your pack. If you're going into an activity and you happen to have one of your clanmates also going into that activity, it will automatically pair you together, which is really cool. I don't know how they made this feature work, but if you happen to be loading, say, into a strike, and your clanmate happens to be loading into a strike at the same time, going for matchmaking, it'll prioritize your clanmates first and pair you together so that you could do that activity, even if you—
That's actually really fucking cool, actually. That's pretty cool. That's actually pretty cool.
you have not teamed up or joined a fire team, man.
No, I suggest you play it on the Moo emulator because it's actually well optimized on PC. The Moo emulator is actually well optimized, and you can actually hook up your controller to it. So if you guys want to play Destiny Rising, I recommend Moo emulator. It's actually well optimized. You know, it's actually like, because I've played it, and it's really well integrated with the controller as well. On top of that.
Emulate. That's such a beautiful feature, guys. Another thing that's really cool is weapon reviews. And I'm not talking about weapon reviews right here on the YouTube channel. I'm talking about in-game weapon reviews. If there is a particular role that just dropped for you and you're curious to know if it's good, guess what? People can write reviews of that weapon and comment under that role. Now,
really?
I thought it didn't show you the random roles, but big shout out here to Slothy for showing me this. Yes, it does. You can actually go into the individual weapon and look at all the traits on that weapon. Fellas, do you understand what we're saying here? You don't have to leave the game or go to a third-party website to check weapon roles. And listen, I'm not saying that I don't like LightGG or I don't like D2 Foundry. I think those are great resources, but it's a resource outside of the game. And
it's always better to have the resources in the game itself because you have more engagement in the game. Plus, you know, you don't have to go to a third website to go look up something like a YouTube video or anything like that, or a different website or something to be like, what are the traits for this gun, or what are the drops for this gun? It's really cool to have it actually in the game itself because we can just look at it in the game while we're playing and we're still engaging. Plus also we're online at the same time, and at the same time it looks good on the investors, you know, for more money, you know. So
fact that you have the ability to see not only all the traits of a weapon, but even individual peer reviews of certain traits, and they can even upvote certain perks, so you know whether or not this is a really good perk, at least based on the reviews of the community. This is an amazing feature. And the final feature I want to mention that I can't believe Destiny Rising is the first to do: animated emblems. Now, we have a lot of great emblems inside of Destiny 2, but they're all static. But Destiny Rising, in its contest mode raid emblem, is animated. And as you know, guys, emblems are the big craze inside of Destiny. Folks were literally paying carry services and cheaters to take their accounts through the Desert Perpetual raid just so that they can show off that emblem. And when I say people were paying for this, I'm talking like $400 or $500.
Jesus.
It's honestly nuts. And let me just say, those people all got banned, including the cheaters themselves, but the cheaters don't care. They'll do it on another fresh account. They're just there to make money. Regardless, though, it's crazy to me that the first animated emblem, which I figured would have been in Destiny, is here in Destiny Rising. It's honestly mind-blowing.
That's fucking crazy that a mobile game, a mobile gacha game, literally just has some crazy things compared to a main title Destiny game.
And again, like I said at the beginning of this video, I don't really like Destiny Rising. I don't like that it's a mobile game. I don't really care that it's gacha. I'm not a fan of these systems. I don't like that it's not natively on PC or natively on consoles. But at
the reason why it's not on these consoles or PC, it's because of Bungie. They probably don't want it to be natively on there because they know for a fact it would kill Destiny 2.
Same time, I have to acknowledge where Destiny Rising is absolutely dominating Destiny 2. It seems like NetEase has a better understanding of MMO features than Bungie themselves. And I've said this in the past about Bungie for so long. They make too many activities that are short-term. They add features in the game that are only there for a little bit, and then they take them out. Hence fishing at one time. They completely ignore game modes like Gambit for years and years, and they also completely ignore social features. With the most we have gotten here recently was a commendation system which no one cares about. Now, am I gonna play Destiny Rising over Destiny 2? Probably not. I'm not a fan of gacha. I know the long-term commitments that entails, and I'm also a gameplay junkie. I like the build crafting too much inside of Destiny 2. But hot damn does it frustrate me that all of these features, which is staring us right in the face, and we've been talking about things like this for years, is having to be implemented by an entirely different development studio.
It's because they know for a fact, I think NetEase understands specifically how like just MMO-esque Destiny can be, you know? If they actually had the rights of the IP, they would probably make a full-fledged like main title game or so, mainline title game, and it'll probably outbeat Destiny 2 and probably Destiny 1, you know, because this game feels like Destiny 1 at this very moment, you know? That shows that Bungie is creatively bankrupt. That is very true. I think definitely the creativity compared to NetEase and Bungie is so significantly different from one another. There's like a giant gap of like creativeness, and NetEase is like literally the juggernaut when it comes to creativity. I'm gonna be very curious to see how this game is going to do in like the next 5 years. I'm not even gonna say 10 years. I'm gonna say 5 years, to be honest. Because I feel like I'd be curious to see what kind of content they'll create in 5 years. Because if this is what they created in 1 week of, well, not 1 week, but like in the week of the launch of the game itself, this is how much content there is. I'd be very curious to see how the game is going to be in 5 years from now.
Bungie, I urge you to take notes. Put the ego aside, put the talk aside of whether or not this or that has enough return on investment, and look at these MMO features that are present in the mobile version of your game and start picking from
They won't do that.
Which ones you should add. I said this the other day on the podcast, and I'll say it again. The greatest return on investment you can get is a happy player base. That right there has exponential growth.
Yep.
Bungie, you gotta start leaning into that more. Well, guys, that's it. That's all I have to say.
They're not gonna
Let me
do
know in
that,
the
though.
Comments below what you think. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming to watch.
They're definitely not gonna do it unless, because I know that the previous CEO of Bungie stepped down and there's a new CEO at Bungie. Unless that CEO at Bungie talks with the head developer of NetEase to ask them for permission and stuff like that, and work together to implement some crazy things in Destiny 2, then you have a possibility. But as of, at least at the moment of the recording of this video, not really. So don't have your high hopes on Destiny 2, at least, you know. I think if they made a Destiny 3 I think it would be better, personally. I don't know what ROS is, but yeah, it is a Chinese company though. My controller sadly refuses to connect to Mumu, so I have to use mouse and keyboard. You can probably use what is it, DS4 Windows. You can probably use that, actually, to be honest. It could probably work for you. I still have no faith. Unfortunately, yeah, a lot of people don't have faith in Destiny 2 right now. So, but at the end of the day, you know, if you don't have a gambling addiction, you don't, you know, because this guy has a gambling addiction 100%. He's like, he's heavily criticizing on the monetization because of his spending and literally in fucking Genshin Impact, you know. You'll be fine, you know. Honestly, like, I'm not really too crazy on spending. I don't really need to spend money in the game, you know. Maybe I'll probably spend on a costume or something, maybe later down the line or something. I don't know, maybe something later down the line for me, maybe. I don't know, but like, at least as of so far at the moment, I have no problems right now. So I've been enjoying the characters that I've been playing. So as long as you're not bald, true, I am, but you have to make me like the game to do so. They can't make D3 because of Marathon. Oh, yeah, right. You're right. I forgot about that. Yeah, Sony's lost abandoned child over there that literally copyrighted everything. You know, copied everybody. You know, that little kindergartner or so, Jimmy or so, you know. Honestly, it's pretty crazy. Activities aside, it's really insane that the mobile game feels indefinitely more like an actual MMO than Destiny 2, and there's so much chat happening in Haven. It's incredible. Wait till Cross learns that the clan firing range lets you try out member builds. You can damage test characters and gear you don't own. That's pretty crazy. The fact that the mobile game is even holding a candle, let alone surpassing in certain areas, is the contrast to the AAA Prodigy console developer original IP, shows how much Destiny 2 has been mismanaged. Good for another developer to be doing well, even if it's on the platform. I don't engage with mobile, and using the model I don't engage with, Gacha. Maybe Bungie could actually put in some fucking effort and actually taking action on what players want. Probably not, you know. Definitely not, in my personal opinion. So today gets flashed by neighbors' thighs. I was looking out my window and they went outside. Hey, but yeah. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Like I said, you know, I don't know what's going on with Destiny 2, at least at the very moment, because there is a new CEO at Bungie. So we'll see what happens, you know. Bungie will now, since Sony has more control, Sony wants money. Probably. I think since if Sony is like absorbing Bungie even more or so, right? They'll definitely probably start telling them to actually get in line or so and actually do the work that they need to do. Oh, really? But yeah, so far, I say give it a try. I'd say personally give it a try, personally. But that's just my personal opinion, though. But hey, you know, it is what it is at the end of the day. Anyways, that's the end of the video. You guys can comment, like, subscribe, do all that fancy jazzy stuff. It's pretty cool. Like I said, I've been playing it offline, but I haven't been playing it that much. I always try to do at least like one mission and a couple of stuff or so every so often, and that's pretty much about it. So yeah. I just can't spend too much time on it because I got to do videos. I have to make videos. I have to make all this other stuff. So that's the only reason why, you know, it takes time. It takes like my time gets taken away, and I miss playing video games on my day off, you know, just kind of like sit back and not having to worry about anything and just play video games. But I can't do that right now. So, but yeah. Anyways, that's the end of the video, and peace.